Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Thank you for supporting me while I pray and for being there to witness my prayer and to witness my return to the self. Um, I have really been appreciating this. The last few days have been some of the hmm, most disconnected that I've felt in a while. And with this connection comes the illusion of separation, the illusion of aloneness. And for that, I am very, very grateful. So I won't go into details, but do look at the previous videos where I explain. I think video 3 explains it in the most detail, sort of what happened for me to realize that my alarm bell started going off and I said, I am not existing in my state of being. I'm not experiencing peace, love, and joy. I am not hearing the voice of guidance from the divine. And that means that I have stepped too far away from the self and I need to return. I have done the prayer of asking, I have done the prayer of surrendering, and I have done the prayer of forgiving. Because if you can't hear the voice of the divine, of your inner spirit guiding you, then it is because you have turned your ears towards a different sound. You have started to listen to the narrative in your mind about whatever caused you pain, whatever you perceive to be injustice, whatever you perceive to be something to worry about, fear, anything like that. So, forgiving was very, very important because I do not want to step out of my state of peace. And as much as I would like to rant and rave and quarrel about certain things and certain people and certain actions that happened in my experience recently, I don't want to do that more than I want to do peace. So forgiveness was a very, very good one. I am updating you on how things are going. So the first thing that I want to say is that forgiveness was very cathartic, very cathartic. I needed to let that go, and the the stream of thoughts that are passing through the brain and trying to get my attention hasn't really slowed down. Like it slowed down a bit. Um, but I am aware of it more and I don't get sucked into it. I get sucked into it much less often. But what it has been happening, which I think is the real success, is that when I do get sucked into it, my spirit, because in the prayer of forgiveness, I ask my spirit to yank me back, bring me back home every time I get lost. My spirit has been yanking me out of the momentum of that stream of thinking. I would say honestly every 30 seconds or so. It's really, I'm so grateful for that. So grateful. Because I could get lost there and generate emotions there and have my energies drained there. And I don't. Spirit is calling me back over and over and over. So that's a huge, huge win. And what happens is the thoughts and the pain and the ego and all that stuff, they're trying to get your attention. And they're more specifically, they're trying to get your energy because the consciousness that runs this world comes into this physical world in the form of energy to invigorate and vitalize your body and your creativity. And that can be drained by what you can call an energy vampire, and that is a pain body. Um, so when those thoughts and those pains are seeking to feed on your energy, they're seeking to trigger you into creating their flavor, their favorite meal, which could be fear, anger, resentment, worry, whatever, and then they feed on it, and then you have to go and generate more for them, generate more for them. But because I no longer get lost in that stream, they are not feeding. And what that means is that they will first go dormant and just leave me alone for a while. And then eventually, if I maintain presence and consciousness and the position of observing and do what Eckhart Tolle calls transmutation, then eventually those pain residues, those pain patterns will completely leave. They will dissipate and leave, and they will have no control over me anymore. So it begins the process of healing, of deep, profound, permanent healing, begins with me not getting lost in a stream of energy. A stream of thoughts, so I don't give them energy. The next thing that will happen is they will go dormant and they will flare up again in the future. But it is up to me now to do the work to transmute them. You can look up, I will link it at the end of this video. You can look up a playlist on my channel called The Power of Now, and I go into detail about how all of this works, how the pain body, the energy sapping, how the transmuting works. And there is a guided meditation. That guided meditation is both on the guided meditation playlist and on the Power of Now playlist. And it takes you through the transmutation step. That is how you get rid of a pain pattern, um, or an energetic or emotional pattern permanently, where you make it leave your system. It's sort of like healing scar tissue. Um, so that's the next thing that I have to do. So I also want to say that I'm very, very grateful for this praying process. What it has done is it has shown me the scar tissue. So using this small, temporary, short-term project, myself has shown me that I have residual scarcity, pain, and fear over money, and that I make decisions and act out of that. Now I am embarking on something very big, something long term, something meaningful. I have written a book, I have started some workshop series, and I'm building this online community where I really want to, well, I don't want to get into it right now, but it's a community, right? Um of sharing, learning, growing, and supporting. And that is going to be a very long term thing. I want to build it properly, slowly, solidly. But the self said, if you're going to do this, you need to get rid of your fear of scarcity, fear of how am I going to get this done? Because in order to do this, quite frankly, I had to take my income down from full time to part time. And that makes me nervous immediately. I had to do part time in order to get the time to build this community. Um, so self was just showing me that, listen, you're going to undertake something big, but you have a big thing in front of you ready to trip you up. And life, the universe, whatever you want to call it, God, um, showed me this pattern using a small, simple project, in order for me to cleanse it before I get into the big project. So I was very, 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 very grateful for that. Also, this is what I want the point of this video to be. I promise you that in 2 or 3 minutes, I'm going to start the prayer. I'm going to try to keep this video short. Um, what is happening is because I have returned my, I know exactly what I did wrong. I neglected to seek first the kingdom of God. I neglected to seek the consciousness of the Christ consciousness, the consciousness of the self, um, that heaven, that kingdom of heaven that dwells inside of us. I neglected to seek that first, and I rushed off into doing and thinking and planning and efforting. And I know that that's what I have to do now. And in the last 3 days, I have been doing that. I have started my days with seeking that level of consciousness, getting into the heart space, and experiencing the divine consciousness. And then I do it with you guys also. And that has resulted in things that I've been trying to do just spontaneously happening. So I don't want to go into too much details, but I'm finally getting grace with the YouTube channel, which took a month to happen. I'm getting some support and collaborations with launching this book that I'm about to launch in a few weeks. Um, I have wonderful friends who are stepping up and helping me with an expense that I have, and I also have a friend who has gifted me um, some support and training on um, how to go about the building, the marketing of the book and the building of this community that I want to do. I don't want to get into too much details, but all of that happened in the last 24 hours. Just massive amounts of grace that I have been feeling around in the dark for about 6 weeks showed up. I still don't have the finished product, and I don't have the markers of success that I had established for myself, but I have the foundation and the support network, and that is the guarantee of the success I intend to have, you know? So anyhow, I just wanted to share that with you, and that is what inspired today's video. So the way in which I want to pray today is to seek the kingdom of heaven. Let me first explain. So you are either under the illusion that you're a separate self, separate from everything, struggling against life, and limited in your access to other people, limited in the resources that you have, and you think that only your mind and your brain can figure out what to do. Or you attain a higher level of consciousness where you recognize, you can first sense the divinity in and around you, then you can put your attention on that divinity and be wholly aware of that divinity. And then you can dissolve into that divinity and realize that you are that divinity. You are not the mind and you are not the body. You are not your efforts. You are the same as the creative force in this universe. And when you get to that state of consciousness, I call that the kingdom of heaven, or just plain heaven, or the heart space. You'll hear me use all sorts of words. In videos to come, I will describe this. It is really beautifully described in an incredibly inspired book that I just completed and will launch in a few weeks. So if you want to know about the community, the books, the workshops, upcoming videos, there is a link in the description for my newsletter. Sign up for the newsletter and I will let you know um, as these things develop, right? So this is the goal, to get to that state. And the way it's done is you reclaim your consciousness, right? So you pull your consciousness away from the stimuli of the five senses. You pull the consciousness away from the thought streams in the mind. You put tell the ego and its pains and its patterns to step aside. You are not going to pay attention to it for a while. And then you turn inward and you allow your breath to take you there. um on the best way that I've done this, but I can't really do it live with you now, is on mornings I would listen to happy music while sitting and writing a gratitude list. And the happy music would remind me that I have the joy is my experience. And the gratitude list would also help me to, there's a soft fragrance that the heart space reminds you to exist by sending out this fragrance. And you go, oh, and you just start to get really soft and beautiful. And when I realize I start to feel that softness and smell that fragrance, I'll put on like a bhajan or a mantra or something that really, really just with the help of the masters and the ancestry of the sound will take me into the deep and total surrender. And I will just bliss out in this heart space for several minutes. And then I begin my day. Again, not something I can quite, I'm not sure if I can describe that to you here. That's why I want to do these live videos, because if I do like live streams or workshops or something, we can all go through that process together, but I can't really do it in this video. So I will do the very best thing that I can. Let's do a short meditation where I show you the process of getting a shorter, simpler, easy to describe process of getting back into the heart space. It won't be 100% accurate because I do have to still remember you're here and narrate this process to you. But once you get the gist of it, this is definitely something you can do on your own. And I assure you that I am doing it right now, and I have been doing this for the last 4 or 5 days. And I believe that the only thing that is necessary in life is to do that, to find yourself with your eyes facing heaven instead of instead of the illusions of this world. And when you do that, the the spirit that acts in and through you, that is all around you and supports you, will take care of all the details of life. It will. So anyhow, thank you for listening to all of that. I did promise to narrate to you, to chronicle to you what is happening. So I am chronicling that. So thank you for your patience with that. Okie dokie. All right, here we go. I am prepared to focus. I choose to lift my awareness and put my focus on the divine. And I ask for help from the divine in this. Whenever the ego's fears and patterns, whenever the mind's thought streams come up and try to seduce me, I will not fall for it. I will keep my eyes on the divine. And so I completely surrender to this moment. I surrender to the state of the world, to the conditions of my life. I surrender to this room, this seat. I surrender to the feeling in my body, to every thought that's lurking in the corners trying to get my attention. I fully accept this moment in every single way, and I offer no resistance. And as I feel that wave of surrender, I know that that the spirit aspect of my being is forever with me. And I turn to the most evident, the most obvious sign or manifestation of that spirit, my breath. And I become aware of my breathing. I focus all of my attention on the movement of my breath, on the sound of my breathing. And to help me focus, I deliberately make that sound louder. I just want to sit with this beautiful, beautiful miracle that occurs every single moment of my life. I am completely surrendered to this breathing, to the one who breathes through me, to the one who is breathing as me. The force, the intelligence, the wisdom, the energy that keeps me alive breath after breath. Thank you. Thank you for controlling every cell, every organ, every muscle in my being that collaborates together in this beautiful dance called the breath. I know that you do this in every aspect of my life. And I surrender. I can feel my tendency to resist. I can feel the tensions in my back, in my muscles. I can feel me standing in the way of this breath moving deeper down into my torso and into my stomach, into my abdomen. I can feel that my awareness is blocking the flow of this breath. And I step aside and I allow you, my inner spirit, my guide, to freely flow this breath throughout me. I become aware of the subtle nature of this breath, the aspect beyond the air, the subtle, beautiful glow of energy, of prana, of chi. And I'm immediately aware that this energy is flowing through my being and keeping me alive. And I surrender and step aside. And I allow you to flow this energy throughout this body, from the tips of my fingers to the tips of my toes. And I feel gratitude. I feel safe. I feel taken care of. It's good not to have to do. It's good to realize the doing is happening for me. And I surrender to that. And I thank you. And I continue to place my awareness on this glow, this light, this humming, delightful energy. I see it as a light that's filling my being. And I choose to see it gathering and growing in brightness in my chest, in my heart. I'm grateful for that glow. I am grateful to be here with only you all around me, in and through me. You show yourself to me as this energy. It is good to be in this space with you. And I surrender completely. And I drop any energetic tensions or knots perceived as dark patches in the light. I drop them to you. And I know that the glowing light of your love is dissipating them as we speak. Even that I don't have to do. All I have to do is be here with you. Thank you. Thank you for access to this space. Thank you for calling me to this space. Thank you for reminding me that this space is my home. Like a leaf remembering the vine, I do not have to go anywhere to experience the vine. I simply have to remember that aspect of my nature. I thank you and I surrender fully, fully. Your love, your peace, and your contentment are full and are enough. I know that there is nothing that I need. There isn't even anything that I want. Nothing is lacking from my being. I want to remember my nature as the vine while I go about my life as the leaf on this vine. Hold me through grace in the awareness of this space. Allow this consciousness to shine through me in my actions. And now, with this great feeling of power and of contentment, I choose to bring my awareness back to this body, this room, and these five senses. What a privilege and blessing it is to experience this life from this locus, from this being, from this leaf. Anything you send my way, I can handle. And every success is yours. I am just the fragment of you that is driving the vehicles that are needed in this realm. I will listen to you and feel you and be aware of you as you tell me what actions to take with the body and what actions to take with the mind. I bring it all into full surrender to you. I thank you, I thank you, I thank you. Hold me close and keep reminding me to turn my eyes towards you all through my day and all through my life. I thank you for everything that's coming today. Breathe my life as you breathe through my body. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.